Hey peeps, Naisha here and welcome to my channel. Now, today I'm going to talk about the 13th House, which is a book that just came out on Choices Stories You Play app. So if anyone wants to play, you can always play this on Choices, whether you have an iPhone or an Android. Also, there would be spoilers, so just want to let you know I'm going to be talking about what I like, what I didn't like, and all this other good stuff. So just want to let you know you have been warned. Also, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And let's jump in. Now, the 13th house. The summary goes something like this. Something sinister brews in the esteemed halls of Arthur Hawthorne University. But first, you need to find a way to fit in with the rich and famous. Now, um, now, like our character, depending on like whether you choose male or female, but I'm just gonna go by the character that I pick. Um, Basically, I went by Nina. So Nina, she is accepted to AHU for short, off the Hawthorne University. So yeah, she is going to AHU with her best friend Piper. Now, you meet Piper. Also, I want to let you guys know that like in the story, it is like, it deals with like zodiac signs and things like that. So just want to let you know you could choose what zodiac sign you want your character to be, whether you want your character to be an air sign, a fire sign, or earth sign, or a water sign. Yeah. Um, and that plays a part in the story as well. But before I get into like that part, basically, like I said, Nina and Piper, they are going to the school together. Nina background, like I don't know why they say she come from a poor family. I don't really think she come from a poor family, maybe like middle class or something. Cause she doesn't give me poor vibes. I'm just saying, but um, but like, yeah, she comes from like just an average family. Her father just passed away, and so she's going to AHU. She's like a legacy student because like her parents went here, so she decided to go and to be, I guess, to feel closer to her father and stuff like that. Anywho, and Piper's family has been through some scandals and things like that. So of course, Nina and Piper at this new school, and people are like, looking at them. They're like misfits and stuff like that. So, but the besties are together, so that's all that matters. Anywho, they meet Felix, who is not only is he a nepo baby, because they say that a lot, but also he's an actor himself, because like his parents, I'm thinking they are actors as well. So yeah, and I think there's something going on with him too, but he's also one of your love interests. And what else? I want to say, yeah, you meet Felix first, and then Felix introduced you to Callista. Um, Also, I should mention, um, Piper's a Pisces, Nina's a Gemini, um, Felix is a Leo, and Callista, who is the next person we meet, is a Gemini as well. I was like, oh hey. Yeah. Also, by the way, I just want you to know that like my character, I made sure she's a Gemini because Yeah, I'm a Gemini, obviously. Anywho, back to what I was saying though. But yeah, they meet Callista, and of course, Callista is trying to tell them, like, trying to give them the ins and outs of AHU and things like that. And I'm thinking at this point, I forgot, like, when is it? Yeah, I want to say it was after, yeah, after Nina and Piper meet Callista and Felix. Not Nina, but Piper gets called to the office. And so, Nina not thinking nothing of it, because Piper leaves to the office, and so she's hanging out with Felix and Callista as well. However, in the morning she noticed that Piper, like, still isn't there, and she's kind of alarmed and stuff like that. Like, she's trying to figure out what's going on with her bestie, which I don't blame her, because, like, I'm gonna do the same thing, because, like, if me and my bestie go somewhere and, like, she don't come back, like, yeah, I'm gonna be kind of alarmed as well. So yeah, she's very alarmed by that. But of course, mostly Felix, is trying to cheer her up and let her know, like, hey, there's nothing to worry about, she's gonna be okay, and things like that. However, when you go to a party, oh yeah, no, not the next morning, like, when she goes to the party, because Nina thinks that Piper has went to the party because she hasn't seen Piper all day, and so she goes to the party and she meets up with, like, Callista and Felix, and, like, she don't see Piper with them, so now she's freaking the fuck out. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Freaking out. She's freaking out, as she should be. And while she's at this party, she also happens to stumble on, I want to say, what she stumbled on? She stumbled on something of Piper's, and also she sees blood there. And so now she's freaking out even more. And that's how chapter 1 ends. And then chapter 2 starts where we left off with, is at the party. And so now, more so Nina and Callista are, like, on detective mode, and so of course, they're talking to this guy, trying to get information. He points them in a direction of this girl named Jack. And so then, um, I want to say the next day, they notice that, well, Callista and Nina, more so Callista, notice that they have a class. I'm about to say, a class with Jack in it as well. And of course, Nina's gonna use this opportunity to get to know Jack, so she could, because, like I said, she's trying to figure out where her bestie's at. And we run into, of course, we run into Lance, who is kind of like the mean guy. I'm not gonna lie, he kind of reminds me of the other stuck up guy in The Elementalist. If you ever play that book, I think his name is Beckett, but it's something. But yeah, that's who he remind me of. He remind me of that, because not only is he the baby in his family, but he also comes from a rich family and stuff like that. So it's like, and of course, I think he's a Scorpio, if I'm not mistaken, and stuff. And of course, he has his little sidekick Molly. But yeah, it's like, okay, you meet him, and there are options. Well, there's two options. One is to ignore him, like, just pretend he's not there, and then the other one is to, like, just insult him and stuff like that. However, I decided to insult him only because I couldn't pick the one that says like pretend to not like notice him and stuff like that, because in this game, um, you have different what you call them things? You have different little status. I'm not gonna say status. I'm gonna say variables. Yeah, you have different you have different skills. Yeah, I'm gonna say skills. You have different skills. There's like 4 skills in this game, and me pretending that he's not there, I needed I needed a certain skill for that, and I didn't have it at the time. Um, but anywho, so yeah, Nina does end up talking to Jack, and things like that. And like we don't really get anything from Jack, though we do get to know Jack, like who she is as a person and stuff like that. And she is a Taurus and stuff. So yeah. Um what was episode 3? Yeah, well, like episode 2, like we didn't end up getting nothing about um yeah, we didn't end up getting anything about Piper. However, um did end up going to the principal's office and talked to the principal, and he's saying that Piper had an emergency. However, Nina called BS to that. I do too, because it's like an emergency. Like, she could have texted her bestie. Like, no, Piper didn't seem like she's that type of chick. So yeah, you could just smell the BS. But anywho, and so and I want to, yeah, Nina, before she leaves the principal office in chapter 2, she notices him looking at Piper's file and being surprised by something. And she just leaves back out, and she tells like Jack, Callista, and Felix and stuff like that. And, of course, they also have a little, you know, again, like I said, they have a little nice get together to get to, like I said, get to know Jack and stuff like that. But after that, I know I'm going all over the place, and I apologize for that. But anywho, after that, Nina decides she has the bright idea because she wants more information. And like I said, she doesn't quit. She wants to know where her bestie at and is her bestie safe. So she plans on breaking into the principal office with the help of Felix, Callista, and Jack. And of course, Jack is, she's scared. She's like, "Excuse me, we gonna break into what?" I don't know about that, but they still convinced her to go. And at the end of chapter 2, while they about to break in, they meet Lance, and that's how chapter 2 ends. And chapter 3 begins with Lance and and the gang just by the principal door. Felix is trying to pick the lock, and of course Lance is asking questions and and wants to know like why they're there, and they ask him the same thing, like, okay, you asking why we here, why you here, and stuff. And it's like, but we find out the reason why he's there is because he has a sneaky suspicion that he didn't get into AHU like the rest of every like how everyone else got into it. And it comes out like, yeah, his suspicion was correct because his parents paid the dean, aka principal. But yeah, they paid the dean to let him in the school. And of course, Lance just that breaks his heart. And of course, Nina is trying to make him feel better and things like that. And so now it's Nina's turn to tell Lance why they there. And she tells him that, like, Piper's missing. She's trying to find her bestie, and she wants to see, what was in Piper's file that had the dean just be in shock. And so, of course, they end up finding it, and um, they end up seeing, like, symbols and dates and stuff like that. And not only that, but they also seen, like, the Cancer sign, which Nina thought was kind of weird because Piper's a Pisces. So it's like, what's going on here? And stuff. And so after they, um see what they needed to see, they leave and they recruit Lance. Yeah, I'm assuming, yeah. They recruit Lance, and they decide to, like, reconvene, like, tomorrow and stuff like that. And so that's what happened. The next day they reconvene, and of course, like I said, they're trying to get answers, and they see, um the again, the Cancer sign and stuff like that. And if I'm not mistaken, I forgot to also mention there's a rumor going around that there's a secret society called the Zodiac Society. And so they thinking, well, Nina particularly thinks that, like, the Zodiac Society has something to do with Piper disappearing and things like that. And also, not only that, but, like, in chapter 1 and 2, I'm with either chapter 1 or 2, I can't remember, but I do remember um Nina going to the library and getting just like a teensy bit of information and stuff like that. So about, like, either her, either she got it from the librarian, she got it from someone, but basically, how that the Zodiac Society, they have 12 members, and, like, when they need to replace one member of the zodiac sign, say for example, like, say if, like, someone who's a Cancer, they leave, they need to find another person whose zodiac sign is Cancer to put them in their society and stuff like that. So yeah. um and um And of course, Nina, she, what, not, she, I don't know what to say she like that. But, Nina, Callista, Felix, and Lance, and Jack, but particularly more so Callista, Nina, and Felix, more so Callista, and Nina, they definitely think that the staff is in on this secret society. So that's what they started to do. They started to, like, interrogate the staff. And we meet this TA named Matthew. He seems like he's in it. And you do see him, I want to say in chapter 2. Yeah, I want to say in chapter 2, you see him by the window and stuff like that, talking to someone. Yeah, I want to say, yeah, you see him talking to someone, like, in secrecy and stuff like that. And Matthew just seems like he got, like, a lot of stuff, like, weighing on his chest and things like that. So, of course, Nina talks to him a little bit, but still hasn't gotten anywhere, close to it. But, she kind of, like, I want to say she kind of wore him down because he's kind of, like, irritated with the game, mainly because, he doesn't like people talking in his class. Also, I find it interesting, but he's a TA. and he's teaching like Nina's class when the actual professor of that class just be ditching him. Like the professor be like, "Oh, hey class, here's my TA, bye," and then bounces. And I'm thinking like, what type of professor? Like, I'm sorry, but I've been to college before, so I was just like very. Thank God I graduated, but that's besides the point. But the point is, um, like I ain't never ever had a professor put everything on the TA and just be like, okay, bye. Like, I was like, what type is this what the rich school be doing? Someone let me know, because I was just like, I was like, oh, okay. But anyway, yeah, Matthew, oh, I feel so sorry for him because he just looks so tired. Like, every time you see his face and stuff, is like, he just looks so tired. I was like, oh, poor baby. But anywho, um, but yeah, I want to say what chapter 3 is basically them trying to find information about the Zodiac society and trying to figure out which staff is involved in it. And also they find out, especially in Piper's file, that the date on it, because there's a date on it, and Callista, no, I want to say Lance's friend Molly lets it be known that that date is the winter formal. I'm thinking either her or Callista. But yeah, someone lets it be known that the date that Nina saw is the date of the winter formal. So basically, something's about to go down at the winter formal, and so she wants more information. And of course, Molly tells her who to get that from, which is one of the seniors that's you know behind the winter behind the winter formal and stuff. And so you go meet that student. You don't really get anything either, not from her or the coach, because like we tried to figure out if the coach was in the Zodiac Society. Spoiler alert, he's not. He's not. He's not. And so of course it's like they back to square one, and then at the end of it, Nina thinks she see Piper, and that's where chapter 4 um begins. Like Nina thinks she's seeing Piper, and of course everyone's giving her just pity look, because they like, oh, like she really do miss her friend and she's determined. And of course they go down the alley that Nina thinks her bestie went, and they see that like she sees that like a charm that came from her bestie's necklace is on the ground, and she picks it up. And of course, Lance and Jack, they're the they're the only two that are kind of skeptic. Felix, he's fierce. He's like, hey, no, we're gonna be here to support Nina. And Callista is saying the same thing, but she's saying it like kind of like, I'm not gonna say nonchalant, because I'm not saying like, it's not that she doesn't care. It's just that like, she says it kind of like, I want to say like, I wouldn't say aloof either. It's just like the way she says it, like matter of fact, and she gives a matter of fact type of like, yeah. So Nina realizes that maybe she needs to like hold off on, but not hold off on it. Yeah, maybe she needs to like back away from this, because she, like, again, she wants to find her bestie, which is understandable. And um I'm trying to figure out which happens first, even though I just played it. um I want to say I want to say like, yeah, I want to say like, they go back on campus and stuff like that. And a month has passed. I want to say, yeah, I want to say like a month has passed and there's still no sign of Piper. And I'm going to be honest with you, that really bothered me right there. Cause it's like, wait, hold on, wait a minute. A month. I'm sorry. But the principal said that she had emergency, right? It's been a month. You mean to tell me she ain't got no cell phone, or she like she ain't got no cell phone to text Nina and be like, "Hey, girl," that's what I'm saying. Like it's just like a month has passed and there's still no information of Piper. Let me repeat that again. A month has passed and there's still no signs, no information, no nada, nothing of Piper. Child, dang, one of my besties go because I have two. If one of them go missing, let me tell you, I'm going to be up people's behind trying to figure out what is going on with my besties. Cause nah, man, that's just did not like that. Did not like that one bit. But either who, and of course, um, did they go to eat first? No, yeah, no, I don't think they went to. Did they went to eat first? No, you know what? Yeah, I think they did went to eat, but before a month later. Let me backtrack. Um, After the whole like she just like telling Lance and Jack because they seem skeptical about Piper being missing and stuff like that. After she does that, they do go out to eat and stuff like that, and they get to know each other. And then after that, a month passes, and um, of course, they still have nothing. They still don't know like what's going on with Piper, but they do decide to go to this study session, you know, because they are in school, so has to be some learning somewhere. And of course, while they are there, they're at the teacher house, and like the teacher basically was like, "Hey guys, welcome to my house. Here's some snacks and stuff. Bye." And what? How is she still keeping her job? Like for real. It's like, do she even teach? And of course, Nina's like, "What?" And of course Matthew is there because he's the Professor Summers, that's her last name. Professor Summers, TA. He's there. And again, I can't help but feel so bad for Matthew because I was like, dang, you you might as well just take her job. Like, but anywho, and of course while they're there, um yeah, of course while they're there, um I want to say Nina used this opportunity to get a little bit more of out of Matthew, mainly because like when she was talking to Matthew, um, he said something that caught her off guard because he said something about like being kicked out of somewhere, and well, not kicked out somewhere, but he had said something that kind of made Nina want to press for more information, and she did, and she found out that it was a club that he was in. He got kicked out. Not only that, but mainly he got kicked out because of his thesis paper that he did. I want to say either last year or a year before that. I'm thinking it was last year. But like he did a thesis paper on something. However, it was so controversial that he almost got expelled and kicked out of AHU. And it's like, oh, like, and of course Nina's like, oh, like, do you still have it? Like, what was, like, what was so controversial about it? But he was like, he, they actually told him to burn it. And it's like, oh, wow, now I'm curious. Now, see, and choices, and that's why I say choices be knowing what they be doing with some of these stories. Because I ain't gonna lie, that, that made me more curious. Because it's like, what paper what could he have written about that would be so controversial that he almost got expelled from the school? Like, and also, not only did he get, like, even though he didn't get expelled, but he got kicked out the group because of this. So it's safe to say that he was in the Zodiac Club. And it's like, what was so controversial about this paper and stuff like that? But you don't get that much information about it. And um and then after that, like, they all are like, everyone's like, after what, like, they learned from Matthew, they're like, okay, so they learned that, like, he probably had something to do with the Zodiac Society, and and stuff like that, and that, like, something had to have happened and stuff like that. Also, they learned a bit about Summers, and how she did used to teach, but something happened after the year. I want to say after the year that Matthew said, after the year that she first taught him. A year later, that's when, like, because the first time that he, like, met her and stuff, she was very passionate and things like that. However, after that, like, something just switched and stuff like that. So, like, they know that something went down, but they don't know what. And they still are not, close to figuring out what happened to Piper. Anywho, the next day, um, you know, Nina's about to go to class, and she sees, like, a whole bunch of people around this person. And of course, this one chick says, like, oh, is this new person here? Um, and says, like, but she looks so familiar and stuff. And of course, Nina, she ain't thinking nothing of it, so she just pushing past people, trying to get to a class. But and I'm assuming because, like, the people are in the way and the new person is in the way, and so she gets in, like, she pushed past people, and look who she sees. She sees Piper. However, Piper looks different. Piper has been Stepford wifed. I'm just saying, like, if you seen the Stepford Wives, like, I'm just saying that's what she looked like. Cause let me describe Piper. Piper in the beginning, she had glasses, and she had red curly hair, and this Piper, her hair, first of all, she looks like Daphne now from Scooby Doo. Yes, she looks like Daphne now, and it's like, what the happened to Piper? And then Piper's like, oh, Nina, hey, you miss me? And I'm like, yeah, no. I'm thinking to myself, Nina, your bestie is gone. Because, like, you miss me? What you mean? Yes, Helfer, I miss you. I've been looking for you. Been worried sick. And so now I'm excited to see what chapter 5 is going to bring us, because it's like Piper don't seem like she Piper. And yeah, I feel like this story is getting good. Now, I do like the graphics of the story. Like, I mean, same old graphics. However, I do like the face and stuff like that, especially for my main character. Because let me tell you, choices back then used to have a tendency to use the same face over and over again. Like, I kid you not. You can even go back to some of them stories and you would see that there are some faces that are used over and over again. Like, if you play Royal Romance, that face is used for, I want to say, Love Hack. If you play what is Veil of Secrets, that face that you have, I think that one is used as well. The Bloodbound face is also used, because not only is it used for Bloodbound, but it's also used for the twins. And I'm talking about the black faces, because that's how I play my characters. I also want to say the Elementalist, that face has also been used and stuff like that. AME face has also been used as well. So it's nice to see that, like, it's nice to see them like have new faces and things like that. So I like that. Now the one thing I don't like, but I do like it at the same time, I like the fact that you have different, like, you have 4 skills and things like that. However, I do like that you have skills, because you have 4 skills in this book. You have courage, insight, influence, and fortitude. The courage is the fire skill. It aligns with Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. Insight is the water skill. It aligns with Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. Influence is the air skill. It aligns with Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. And fortitude is the earth skill. It aligns with Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. And basically you continue to like gain points in all the skills throughout the book in various ways, such as hanging out with friends or interacting with faculty. And then in some cases you have to prioritize one skill over another one. And let me tell you, there are times, and you literally need some of these. You literally do need the skills, because I want to say either in chapter 2. Yeah, I want to say in chapter 2. If you have, I want to say if you have, yeah, if you have 20 insight, like the points, like if you have 20 points, um, if you have 20 insight points, you get to know a little bit more um about the dean, because like the dean knows your father and stuff like that. And that's the thing that bothers me, because it's like, even like, I kind of wish, and I know that this would probably make it kind of easy and stuff like that, but the only reason why I would like this is because I'm a nosy person and I like to know everything. So when it comes to like stories like the 13th House, I would have liked there, like, if we don't have the points, I at least like there to be the option of using diamonds, like, of using our gems. Like, I would have loved to have that option. Like, I would have wished they had that option, because I would like to know, like, okay, like, was he friends with the MC's father and stuff like that? Like, I would love to know more about that. There, like I said, there are other like things that you could use the skill for because there are moments where like there would be like a certain amount of points you need to have for a certain skill. like like if I'm not mistaken, the 4th chapter, um if I'm not mistaken, you need 30 either of courage or fortitude. I'm thinking it's fortitude. Is it? No, I'm thinking it's courage. Yeah. No, I think it's fortitude. It's either one of them, but you need 30 points for it, and I was so happy that I had 30 points to spare. Cause man, I really, cause again, like you have to like, you literally have to make sure that like all of your skills is at a certain level so that you can be able to use the options for some of these skills and stuff like that. So I kind of wish that there was like a diamond option instead and stuff, because it's like, come on. Because I like, again, because like you're not going to know what skills you need for certain things. Like you really not going to know. So it would be nice if there was like a diamond option. But other than that, I still enjoy the story, and I still would continue to play it because it is an interesting story. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, it gives me House of Anubis vibes, because if anyone has ever watched House of Anubis, especially the first season, one of the students go missing, and there's a new student that comes in her place. But the bestie of the student that went missing, is trying to figure out, okay, what happened to her bestie, where her bestie at, and stuff like that. And this is what this reminds me of, because Piper is trying to figure out what happened to her bestie. However, now that I've played chapter 4, and the bestie's here, it's like, is that really Piper? And stuff like that. So yeah, um, I'm very curious to know like what's going to happen. Like, I'm excited for chapter 5. But that's all I have to say about it. About the 13th house. Again, I like it. I enjoy it so far. Can't wait to see what else happens and things like that, because I feel like I feel like there's more questions than answers, because it's like, okay, now that Piper's back, where has she been? Why is she looking different? Like what's going on? Like there's a whole lot of question. And because also like what happened with Nina's father, because she says that he passed away by a storm, but the word storm is highlighted, so it's like, okay, what really happened to her dad? Because like, why is the word storm highlighted? Yeah. So, yeah, it's a whole lot of questions that I really need answers to, which is why I will still continue to play this and let you guys know. Um, I might do like like chapters updates. I might just wait until this. I think I might just wait until like we get all I get all the chapters, and then I do like a review on it and things like that. Who knows what I do? But I just want to say I'm sorry that this video took me so long to get out. Just been busy, so sorry about that. I try to be less busy, um, and things like that. But if you made it this far in the video, I just want to say thank you so much. And let me know what you guys think, especially for those who are playing this right now. Like, first of all, what is your zodiac sign? Um, Also, who is your love interest? Are you with Felix or Callista? And also, what do you think about this whole about the Zodiac Club, about this whole thing. I just need to know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, see ya.